So the five centers which have been connected, they include Firoz Gandhi Engineering College at Raebareli. Then the second center is Vidya Bhavan Polytechnic at Udaipur. Then the third center is Seth Jayaprakash Polytechnic at Damla in Haryana. It's in district Yamunanagar. And we are connected with Baba Hira Singh Bhattal Engineering College at Lehragaga in Punjab. And the fifth center is Northern India Technical Campus, and this institute is located in Delhi. So these five centers are connected for the purpose of this program. And we have a program on e-governance in technical education. This program is being conducted at NITER Chandigarh. And for the first session, we have participants of other program as well as e-governance participants. So this session would be conducted together, and the participants of e-governance program will also benefit from the first session. Now let me give you a little overview of the program, what all we are going to cover in this program. After the inaugural program, we are going to have a little small presentation on technical education scenario in the country and the kind of challenges which the country is faced today. Thereafter, we'll have a detailed session on National Skill Qualification Framework, and this session is going to be engaged by me. Then 1 to 2 we'll have lunch break, and thereafter from 2 to 4 o'clock we have a session on Technical and Vocational Education and Training (TVET) system in India, and this session is going to be engaged by Professor Y.K. Anand. Then tomorrow we will have 3 sessions. First session is on aligning of National Institute of Electronics courses with National Skill Qualification Framework. In fact, NILET Delhi has done a lot of work in the area of vocational education. They have assisted a number of states in implementing National Skill Qualification Framework, and they have evolved curriculum. So as to how they have gone about aligning their curriculum with National Skill Qualification Framework, this is going to be discussed in first session tomorrow morning. And this session will be engaged by one Mr. Rajneesh Asthana. He is coming from Delhi for engaging this session. The second session would be engaged by Dr. Mrs. Poonam Sayar, and she will be deliberating on skilling India and inter-ministerial initiatives of different ministries. Then in the afternoon tomorrow, we will have again inputs from Professor Y.K. Anand, and Professor Y.K. Anand will be speaking on design of curriculum of technical vocational education and training. Then the third day, first session is going to be engaged by Madam Shashi Kiran. Madam Shashi Kiran is a very senior officer working with the National Skill Development Corporation at Delhi. And National Skill Development Corporation is a very serious stakeholder with regard to National Skill Qualification Framework. In fact, NSDC is supposed to constitute sector skill councils for all different sectors of Indian economy. And once the sector skill councils are constituted, then they are supposed to work out the occupational standards for different sectors of the economy. And ultimately, these occupational standards, once they are finalized, so then only the curriculum for different trades can be freezed. So that's why the inputs from NSDC are very important, and we have invited Madam Shashi Kiran for that session, and she will be speaking on aligning of curriculum of community colleges and national occupational standards. Second session on third day is going to be engaged by Professor S.K. Dhamija, and he will speak about industry and community college sustainable partnership. Now, when we talk about NSQF, or for that matter, even community college scheme, in both these schemes, partnership with industry is a must. In fact, NSQF and community college program, these are such programs, they cannot be offered in isolation. So, for that matter, the partnership is a must. And how to develop that partnership, how to make it sustainable, how do we promote this involvement of industry in our program, and how can they help us, different institutions. So that's all going to be discussed by Professor Dr. S.K. Dhamija. Then the final session on third day is going to be engaged by one very senior retired officer from DGET. There's one Mr. G.S. Sethi. So he retired as Deputy Director General in DGET, and he'll be sharing his own experiences of working in DGET and launching different skill development schemes. Then we come to the fourth day, and on fourth day, the first session is on Skilling India, and I'll request our director, Dr. M.P. Punia, to engage that session, but at times he is very busy. So hopefully he will be here and he will engage this session. In case he is not available, so then we'll see to it, inputs are provided, and maybe some other expert will engage that session. Then the second session on fourth day, Thursday, is going to be on community colleges and their sustainable development in India. So this session is going to be engaged by one very senior professor from Punjab University. His name is Professor Dr. B.S. Bhuman. So he will deliberate on community college movement in India, and he will share his national and international experiences with regard to community college scheme. The last session on fourth day is on partnering in community college scheme, its implementation experiences of Wadhwani Foundation. Now, there are a few very major players so far as skill development is concerned, and Wadhwani Foundation is one of them. And similarly, we have the Centum Learning, another company which is doing a lot of work nationally and internationally in the area of skill development. And the third company is ILFS, Infrastructure Leasing and Financial ILFS. This is another company which is working in the area of skill development. So out of these three leading players in the area of skill development, we have roped in Wadhwani Foundation. And Wadhwani Foundation, in fact, they are helping in implementation of NSQF, particularly in Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, Rajasthan, and Kerala. So they have their own, good and bad experiences with regard to implementation of NSQF. So their experiences will be shared during the last session on fourth day. Then on fifth day, we have planned two sessions. First session is on bridging the skill gap, and this session is going to be engaged by Centum Learning. Centum Learning, is a major player in skill development. So their senior vice president, Mr. Sanjay, is going to be here with us, and he'll be traveling from Delhi. So he will share his experiences of working in the area of skill development and then linking their forces with National Skill Qualification Framework. And the last session on that day, that's the fifth day. So last session is on National Skill Qualification Framework, its implementation to school education system. And for that purpose, we have invited one very senior professor from Pandit Sundarlal Sharma, Central Institute of Vocational Education at Bhopal. In fact, it's a dedicated institute which is working in the area of vocational education, and they are the one who are developing curriculum for different sectors and at different levels, particularly at level 1, 2, 3, and 4. So they have evolved curriculum, and that curriculum is now being implemented in different schools with a school affiliated to central board, this thing CBSE or state board. So they are doing a lot of work. But then at the same time, there are some problems. When people pass out 10+2 with vocational stream and thereafter they want to get into either university or engineering college, and if they want to pursue their vocational courses, so there are some hiccups over there. So that is precisely the reason we have invited him to come over and share their experiences, and maybe they need to work a little more with regard to this thing for the transition of these people to higher courses. So this is what is going to be covered in this program. Now, so far as this inaugural session is concerned, we are going to touch upon two issues. The first issue is higher technical education in India. Where do we stand today? What are the challenges? What are the problems? What are our achievements so far? So maybe I'll devote around 30 to 40 minutes on that. And thereafter, we will be talking about NSQF in detail. So that's going to be the agenda so far as this inaugural session is concerned. And I'll request you all to be here with us for the forenoon session till 1 o'clock. Okay?
No. This is session basically this is talking about the general technical education. Technical education systemic processes, है ना? That is the broad talk we are going to have, challenges and all this. That is the issue we are going to start. So we always start with the broad and then go narrow down to the issue. Okay. हमेशा ये आपको technical education कहीं हो, we come at a common platform and then move on.
तो इसीलिए
इजीली नहीं है कहीं
इजीली नहीं है एक्चुअली. Okay, let's devote little time on understanding the Indian higher education scenario. What has happened particularly in recent years. So here, if you look back, just the current scenario I'm sharing with you. If you look back the last 5 to 10 years or so, particularly last 5 years, so there are a lot of facts which need to be noticed, and I think it conveys something. One thing, the country was really concerned about a very low enrollment ratio, particularly at the higher education level. So gross enrollment ratio, when we talked about, so we used to have hardly 11 or 12% of gross enrollment ratio for the purpose of higher education at the beginning of this 11th 5-year plan. And 11th 5-year plan, I suppose you are all aware of, 2007 to 2012. So April 2012 onwards, now we are in 12th 5-year plan. So there was a lot of emphasis on enhancing this gross enrollment ratio in higher education, and it did pay, the efforts of the government did pay dividend, and the gross enrollment ratio, which was almost 12% at the beginning of 11th 5-year plan, this ratio had improved to almost 20%, and right now if we talk about the present gross enrollment ratio works out to 20.6%. So during 2012, it was roughly around 20%. So this gross enrollment ratio has almost doubled during the period of 11th 5-year plan, and then the other developments which have taken place during the 11th 5-year plan itself. 60 new central universities have been set up by the government, and this investment increased almost 9 times compared to what was being spent by the central government earlier. So earlier, the budget of the central government on education used to be very meager, but come this 11th 5-year plan, a lot of money was pumped in by the government of India, and the investment almost went up by 9 times compared to earlier plan. Then during this period itself, 9 new IITs were set up. Then 9 new IITs were set up, 7 new Indian Institute of Management were set up, and 5 new Indian Institute of Science were also set up. 2 new colleges of planning and architect were set up during the 11th 5-year plan. And during 11th 5-year plan, particularly the earlier period of 11th 5-year plan, at that time, the country was experiencing a very rapid rate of economic growth. And when we were growing as a country, when we were growing almost at 9 to 10% growth rate, at that time, the placements in different educational institutions, be they polytechnic, be they ITIs or engineering college or management institutions, in fact, in different sectors of the economy and different sectors of education, what we had seen, there were sort of record placements. And that time, getting jobs were not much, it was not a serious problem as such. But if you see today, so today we do not have the kind of placement which we used to have during, say, 2008, 2009, or even 2010, like that. So right now students are faced with a lot of problems and there's a lot of unemployment. But it's all linked with the economic development in the country. Naturally, when the economic development goes up, so naturally the placements also improve. And there's now a general impression that the pass outs are not worth much. Be they engineers, diploma holder, ITIs or simple graduates. So industry or different employers, they always find fault. They find fault with the quality of the output from the schools or colleges, and they feel that these people are not really employable. Another thing what we have seen recently, whereas the emphasis during the 11th five-year plan, in fact, the major concern was to improve upon the gross enrollment ratio. But when we got into 12th five-year plan now there's no more, not much emphasis on expansion as such, but right now the emphasis is on improving the quality of education. Maybe the country right now feels, or policy formulators or leaders, they feel, currently there has been enough of expansion, so there's no need of creating additional capacity, but now it's time to improve upon the quality. And during 12th five-year plan, government is spending a lot of money on quality enhancement. Then the root cause for poor quality, people feel this root cause lies basically in our school education system. Politicization of school education system has resulted in poor quality of students joining the higher education system. We all are aware of the way students pass out from schools. In fact, up to 8th standard, we all are aware of. So teachers cannot fail the students nowadays. So there's sort of automatic promotion up to 8th standard. And naturally, when these students they go in 9th standard, then they face difficulties. And we all are aware of the pass percentages in different boards, CBSE board, National Open School Board. So that's where the students get into problem, and probably this automatic route, perhaps it has resulted in deterioration of quality to some extent. Then this joint engineering entrance test, it's another major reason for poor quality of students getting into higher education, and what we find usually when the student passes matriculation, thereafter gets into 10 plus 2. So many of these students they keep on looking for proxy seats, and their main concern is to clear JEE rather than concentrating upon the academics there in 10th and 11th standard. So it's also taking its own toll. Now we look at the investment in higher education, and then the state of our central universities with state universities. Now if we look at the system as a whole and the number of students studying, so 20 million students in higher education in India are studying in higher education. And if you compare ourselves with China, so in China, they have 30 million students in higher education, whereas in India we have 20 million. Now, when we look to the students, rural versus students in state universities and students in central universities. Here again, what we find is the 96% of the students they are studying in higher educational institutions, basically the institutions which belong to the state universities, and the central universities or central institutes, they admit only 4% of the students. We got to see it with regard to this thing, resource allocation versus the output coming from the institution. Now, if you look to the central resources or even state resources getting into these institutions, so I don't think 96% resources are really going in the state universities. So probably the central universities which benefit only 4% of the students, so they are getting much better funding, they are enjoying much better infrastructure as compared to the other state university or state level institutions which admit 96% of the students. And yet another feature of the state university is almost 1/3 of the state universities they are sort of below the accepted norms of UGC. Because they do not come up to the norms, many a time the grants get delayed and they do not get adequate funding. So this is another feature of the state universities in India.
India 1,000
Pardon?
I said district 1,000.
You see, in this country, there are so many constraints. You having started a university, because university started after an enactment, and closing the university is not that easy. So once the university starts, so it's not that easy to close, but maybe efforts need to be made to further improve upon the quality. And that is why nowadays you find there are so many, restrictions, so many. Now government is going to lay a lot of emphasis on getting some sort of accreditation. So accreditation in days to come is going to be compulsory. And maybe when the accreditation norms they are implemented, then automatically the quality has to be improved. Okay. What do state universities lack? The major problem with the state university is ban on recruitment and inadequate infrastructure. Inadequate infrastructure because they do not get adequate funding, and ban on recruitment again linked with the availability of funds. And many times state government, even central government at times there are bans on recruitment, but it's only like in case of faculty, maybe non-faculty, central government hardly ever puts any ban. But so far as other staff is concerned, even central government at times there are some restrictions on employing people. But the problem is more serious with regard to the state university. Now, Government of India is thinking of creating this higher education council. So once this higher education council gets constituted, then creation of higher education council, which is in process. So on its creation, what will happen? On its creation, the council will come out with many schemes. Schemes will be financed. There's a understanding that all schemes under this National Higher Education Council, they need to be shared in the ratio of 70:30, wherein central government provides 70% of the funding and remaining 30% funding needs to be provided by the concerned state government. Then this thing, National Mission on Teacher and Teaching, is almost in the offing. So this National Mission on Teacher and Teaching has already been announced. There are a lot many items under National Mission, and basically the idea is to make available adequate faculty, meeting the shortage of teachers. So all those issues are going to be addressed. Few other issues in higher education. Till recently, our teachers at the time used to be blaming about this thing. The teachers are not well paid, but then there are some surveys conducted at international level, and right now our teachers are considered to be being paid very well, and they are in fact the third best paid teachers in the world. If you keep this thing, purchasing power parity in mind. So if you calculate the earnings of the teachers, keeping in view the purchasing power parity, then our teachers are third best paid teacher in the world. And I suppose teachers have no grudge as such with regard to the salary. But here again, things are different in private and aided institutions. Maybe government teachers are well paid, but when it comes to private institutions, so maybe they are not paid.
They are purchasing the item with the help of loan, bank loan.
Yeah, that's a hard fact case. They are creating assets, and somehow the investment climate is such, particularly when you buy land and when you buy equipment. So particularly land, it keeps on appreciating whether or not you get students. Maybe the capital would definitely appreciate in private sector. But then I think with this kind of approach, these people can't really survive for a long time. Ultimately, it's going to be the survival of the fittest. If you would offer quality, then only you will survive, otherwise not. And getting students for such like institution is becoming increasingly difficult. So we got to adapt to the changes taking place, and we got to necessarily integrate information and communication technology in teaching. And what we are doing in this program, like you have maybe you have 20-25% sitting over here, and then we are connected with 5 other centers in different states like J&K, Rajasthan, UP, Haryana. So that itself speaks about integration of information and communication technology in teaching learning. Then there's a feeling that we should not be selecting our own students for teaching as a faculty. So even if the students are very bright, it's better. First of all, the students, they must go out, they must prove themselves, and having worked in field maybe for 2-3 years or so, thereafter if they want to get back to teaching in their parent institute, so I think that needs to be welcome. Then find out reasons why do we not figure among the 200 top universities in the world. India is almost 1/6 of the humanity. So 15 to 17% population resides in India, but we have 30 to 40,000 engineering colleges and other institutions of higher learning. We have almost 6 to 700 universities, but there is hardly any university which figures in top 200 universities of the world. So we need to find out the reasons for that, and we need to take some corrective actions accordingly. Then when we look to the research in technical education, in terms of GDP, when we talk of research, hardly 0.8% of the GDP gets spent on research. And research is something which is considered to be the domain of only a few institutions or research and developmental laboratories. So government wants that this effort on research should increase, and even the spending on research should increase. So government is of the view that soon we should be reaching the figure of 1.5% of the GDP, and this much of GDP must get spent on research and development. And when we talk of institutions of higher learning, so people are of the opinion, educational planners are of the opinion that 60% of their time and effort that should go in conducting research and 40% time should go in teaching and work. Then promoting industry institute partnership and adjunct faculty is also the necessity of the present days. Third party accreditation, we all are aware, this NBA and NEC, they have been created. And so far as technical institutions are concerned, AICT accredited institutions, they got to go for compulsory MBA accreditation. And university affiliated colleges, they got to go for next accreditation in days to come. Then government is thinking of starting 50 direct to home channels to provide opportunity to students to study at home. So there are so many things we can study at home, and today with having TV in every home, internet everywhere, availability of internet has improved quite a lot. So with this kind of infrastructure, there are not many things which the students can learn right sitting at home. So it's in this context that Government of India is going to start 50 direct to home channels, and students would be in a position to learn lot many things sitting at their own place. There's an immediate need to internationalize the education, and other good educational providers from abroad, they are coming to India. Maybe good institutions from India, they also need to go abroad, and they also need to start offering education abroad. And I suppose many of our good institutions, they have started doing so. Some of the IITs, some of the IIMs, and then institutions like MET University, many other private universities. So they have started going abroad. They are spreading their wings, and they have started operating internationally. Then skill training through community colleges, national skill qualification framework, and other schemes that's being emphasized nowadays. You have any questions?
So which IIT is on for?
IIT, MET has gone. NIT Jaipur is starting their campus in Arabian countries, and I suppose it is IIT Roorkee, they are thinking of starting campuses as well. And then IIM Lucknow, they are spreading their wings, going in different countries. I'll try to find out the exact detail and share with you.
IIT also, sir.
So similarly, IIMs also, they are also thinking of going
IIT
abroad.
नाम दिया, उसको IIT नाम देने वाली गवर्नमेंट ने है। IIT नहीं दे करके उसको इंटरनेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट दिया जो गवर्नमेंट MHRD। तो डॉक्टर इख्तियार, head of the department of textile technology, one of the director of the FII.
So
national international.
So this traditional concept that universities basically exist for imparting knowledge, and they do not have much of role in imparting skill. Probably now the time has come, and we got to do away with this kind of thing. Now, so far as skill development is concerned, skill development is something which almost all kind of educational system in the country need to promote. So this conventional thinking that universities are meant for imparting knowledge and ITIs are meant for training craftsmen. So probably that kind of thinking needs to change, and skill development needs to be taken up in a big way. Few other issues in higher education, internationalization of education, I have already spoken on that. Then we need to attract international students and faculty and start campuses abroad. See, when we talk of this thing, accreditation, maybe one can easily get the accreditation within the country. But then if some of our institutions, they want to go for international accreditation, there are international accrediting agencies. If they have to do that, then they got to meet the international standard. And those international standards would be probably in terms of, if they got to have faculty of international level, they got to have faculty not only from India but recruited abroad. Okay, they got to have people on their board of management from abroad. They got to balance this thing, sex ratios in the universities. Now you can't be only admitting male students, so there should be a good balance between the male and female students. Then there should be students from different countries coming to India. So these are some of the issues which are going to get weighted when it comes to getting international recognition, international accreditation. All these issues are weighed, and institutions, they get some weightage for this. Then this concept of solo university or sort of solo players. We all Indians are known to be solo players, but then when it comes to working together, we many a time fail. So universities also do almost the same thing. So till universities were operating as solo players, but now it's time of meta universities, and these meta university concept is nothing but number of institutions of higher learning. Like IIT Delhi may have expertise in some area, AIMS may have expertise in some other areas, then maybe Safdarjung Hospital has got expertise in some other areas, NIT will have its own strong areas. So like that, at a particular place, there could be number of good institutions having expertise in different fields. Now, when these institutions, they join hand together and start offering qualifications, okay, in a collaborative manner. In fact, that is the concept of this thing, Meta University. And under this concept, IIT Delhi, Delhi University, Jamia Millia University, they have already joined hand together, and they would be offering some programs on collaborative basis. Similar effort is being made here at Chandigarh. And Punjab University and Chandigarh, they are trying to join hands with CSIO in Sector 30, NITER, we are here in Sector 26, then PGI, then Sector 32 Medical College, and there are many other institutions here, Indian Institute of Science at Mohali, then NIPER at Mohali. So they are trying to find out the strengths of different institutions, and by way of pooling the resources, utilizing their infrastructure, so some qualifications would be offered. That's the concept of meta universities. Faculty need to shun ego, single sense of inquiry among students, and teaching based on notes prepared during 20th century is going to be obsolete, and we should be following the latest technique. Then competition with private universities. You see, gone are the days when there was no competition, but now you talk of government institution or we talk of private institution or university, they got to compete with each other. And remember, there are some good names, reputed names, like you have this thing, Tata's, you have Reliance, Jindal, Shivnagar, then Gotia University, JP University in Himachal Pradesh, Chandigarh University just on the outskirts of the city between Chandigarh, lovely professional university, Deshbhakti University, MET, ICFI University, they have put up their campus at Badi in Himachal Pradesh, Nirma University. All these universities, don't think they are coming to the education field just for getting money. Many of them are very, very serious players in the field of education, and they are going to give real tough fight to the existing system. Then time to charge appropriate fee and fee from those who can afford, and liberal regime for scholarship for brilliant students. Indian education scenario is really very, very strange. If we talk of present education system, you end up paying more when the child is in school. You end up paying less when you are in university. I don't think such like things happen in many other developed countries. Our school education system is costlier than our university system. So people who can afford, why can't they pay for university education? And those who cannot pay, maybe scholarship schemes they can be involved. And in fact, Government of India is evolving lot many scholarship schemes. That in some of the scholarship they are being linked with this direct benefit scheme, and money is getting transferred to the account of the students. Now, yet another thing which has happened recently: entry of top foreign universities in India. What has happened here? In fact, foreign education providers bill is before the parliament for quite some time in past now. But previous government somehow they didn't have the numbers to see that bill through, and that bill could not be passed. But they have definitely done one thing. What they did, they have amended the University UGC Act. UGC Act has been amended, and as a result of amendments in the University Act, now the foreign education provider they can enter India. They have already started entering India. Now, here is the eligibility criteria who can enter Indian education scenario. Any entity, any education provider which has at least 20 years standing in the market, international market, they are eligible. They must have at least 25 crore focus fund, must have ranked among top 400 universities, global universities of the world. Okay. Then must offer same quality of courses as offered abroad. Okay, these are some of the preconditions. Then they must register as a company under Companies Act 1956, Section 25 or something. Okay, must belong to not-for-profit category of universities. So these are some of the preconditions. Okay, and what has happened? Many proposals from Canada, America, Australia are already pending before the government of India. They are just waiting to get into education market in India. UGC Act amended to allow foreign educational institutions, I have already told you, and these international players, they can now operate in India. Academic ranking, we are talking about the 400 top universities. So this ranking of 400 top universities has already been done, and it has been done by the Shanghai Jiao Tong University. They have ranked the top 400 institutions of the world. I think so far as India is concerned, Punjab University at Chandigarh is the only university included in these 400. Then university contravening any provision of UGC Act will invite forfeiture of corpus fund and penalty of which ranges from 50 lakh to 1 crore. So if they violate any of the terms and conditions laid down by the government, then there is going to be a heavy penalty. All your corpus fund with the government that is gone, and then additional penalty of 50 lakh to 1 crore. So with this kind of terms and conditions, so entry of foreign educational providers that has been allowed in India. And there are hundreds of foreign education providers who have already entered the Indian education market. So, ladies and gentlemen, this was just a brief about what is really happening in Indian education scenario. A few more things maybe I can just share with you. See, what are the shortcomings? I gave you a little scenario about so many IITs, so many IIMs, so many triple ITs, and so many central universities, they have been set up. But then it's a huge system, and we are a huge country. There are definitely some shortcomings which have been noticed, and the important shortcomings, few shortcomings I would just like to share with you. Number one, there are a number of bills which are pending before the government, and now since we have a clear mandate and there is a strong government at the central level, so maybe these bills will definitely see light of the day. So pending bills, legislations include basically National Commission on Higher Education and Research. This bill is pending before the Parliament. Then provision of unfair practices bill, that's also pending before the Parliament. creation of National Accreditation Authority Bill, then Educational Tribunals Bill, and Foreign Education Providers Bill. These bills, they all pertain to education system. They are pending before the government. Yet another thing, what is happening is campus development and shifting yet to be completed. So many new central institutions, so many universities established, NITs established. But it's taking long time, establishing campuses, then shifting from the present premises to their new premises. In fact, to start with, when it comes to, getting the land use changed, that itself many a time needs to take years to get. Okay. So these are some of the issues pertaining to education system. Then gap between standard setting and enforcement. Now, when we talk of quality in education, so setting up standards, prescribing norms, that is one aspect. But following these norms, making them happen, that's altogether a different story. And that's why there's always a gap between the standard setting and the enforcement. And that's what really results in poor quality of education. Then National Mission on Teacher and Teaching, which is going to address the issue of shortage of teachers in colleges and training and capacity building of teachers. That also has not yet fully picked up, and there are some lacunas. Then restructuring of regulators. When we talk of regulators, who are the regulators in Indian education system? Regulators are basically AICTE. Regulator is UGC. Then when we talk of school education system, basically the regulators are School Board of Education, NCRT, SCBT, okay? And then there's no policy with regard to, there's hardly any clear policy with regard to distance education. In fact, this distance education policy is also being debated at different levels. So, country needs to have a very clear distance education policy. कभी-कभी controversy हो जाती है whether technical courses can be offered through distance education or not. Okay, this controversy goes on. Then reforms in open and distance education and distance learning policies are yet to be evolved. Then there's a very large shortage of faculty. Almost across the country, if we talk about almost 30% vacancies, 30% posts are lying vacant. And be they IITs, be they Indian Institute of Science or medical colleges or engineering college, management institutions.
Why you can't solve this problem?
Well, answer is not as simple as the question. See, in government, what I personally feel, I have been in this institute for the past almost 30 years, making purchases and recruiting people. These are the two serious most problems. Purchasing and recruiting people.
So why are calling you this account people here in school? They must be trained.
Well, we do
have facing serious problem with these people.
We do have programs for support staff and other administrators, accountant, but this particular program okay.
NSQF.
Right? So reasons could be many, but 30% vacancies across the board, even at school education system. In schools also there are 30-35% vacancies. And when the foundation itself is weak, so the quality would definitely suffer. Then the low-cost access device, this so-called Akash, which was to be given to all students, and initially it was sort of 1000 में देना था कितने? एक तो दिया नहीं, अगर जहाँ में दिया भी है, तो उसकी जो configuration है, and the expectations of the students they do not have. So hence the students are unable to make use of that access device. Then greater industry academia interaction and also with scientific and interaction with scientific and research laboratory is definitely lacking and that needs to be given a push. Then there was a proposal to have a national portal for single window clearances of all kind of scholarship for the students. So this national portal has not yet been started. Then there was a project called NMEICT, National Mission on Education through Information and Communication Technology. So, उसमें जो था almost 407 universities they were connected, given broadband, and 21,000 colleges they were to be given adequate bandwidth.
See, ASP has started.
No, they have started, but then the connectivity still continues to be a serious issue. अगर कहीं connectivity है, people are not making adequate use of it. I happen to be visiting one university along with the Joint Secretary Government of India. We went to one university, and out of 100 Mbps which was given to them, they were hardly making use of 10 or 12 Mbps. So जहाँ में bandwidth है उसका government private. But then the JS was of the view currently almost the similar things are happening in other places. Same kind of problem. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I just gave you a little overview about the. Pardon? उसमें private government दोनों को दे रहा है. The idea is to provide connectivity to the higher education. See, today when we talk of Indian higher education system, now 80% people they are in private institutions. Hardly government's role is now slowly and slowly getting marginalized. So naturally, 80% people they are studying in private institutions. Then private sector needs to be given, some assistance, and they need to be taken seriously. So when it comes to providing bandwidth, so it's both private as well as government. So under this NNEICT, 407 universities and 21,000 engineering colleges, they were to be provided connectivity. Maybe on paper connectivity has been provided, it has been made of to some extent. But then the connectivity, its effectiveness and continuity of quality, these are some of the issues which need to be considered and where we need to be considered. So, ladies and gentlemen, now I got to switch over to the main topic, and that main topic is our national skill qualification framework. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to get on to our the very first technical session of this program on orientation program on national skill qualification framework, community colleges, and other skill development schemes of government activities. The inputs which I have given so far, that was just to make background and to let you know the present scenario of higher technical education in India. And now we are going to link it to the National Skill Qualification Framework and Community Colleges in India. And you see, this NSQF is such a thing, whether or not you like it, but in days to come, you got to use it. So it has come to a stage of no further negotiation as such. Looking to the priorities of the government, looking to the emphasis given on skill development, national skill qualification framework has to be necessarily implemented. And in days to come, we got to align all our qualifications. Please take this here. कहाँ से चेयर मंगवा दीजिएगा?
मेरे को से लेफ्ट अप
So for you, for some of you, this may be a new word, national skill qualification framework. Maybe you may not be very much familiar with it, and I suppose same is true of community college schools. So I want to start with.
Hello sir, excuse me. This is Northern Indian College. Sir, this audio is not clear. I think if you use the mic just standing before that may improve. Thank you, sir.
Can I be heard now? Hello? Hello? Hello?
It is improved, sir. It is improved.
Can I be heard? Hello?
Sir, they said it improved होगी.
It's okay, sir, now.
Now, before to explaining national skill qualification framework as such, I would like to take a case of Punjab state, and I would like to apprise you of what all has happened in Punjab during past 10, 12 years, and where is it really taking us to. And something which is happening in Punjab, maybe the same thing is happening in many other states. Look at the scenario, prevailing scenario in Punjab. Number of farmers has reduced 12% in Punjab during 2001 to 2011. In a period of 10 years, the number of farmers has got reduced, and the general feeling is farmer's son doesn't want to practice farming anymore. Okay? Now, there's definitely a drop in number of farmers in Punjab. At the same time, there's a drop in farm labor. And during the same corresponding period, 2001 to 2011, whereas the number of farmers reduced 12%, the number of farm labor reduced by 21%. 21% people who are working as farm labor, they have left this profession. Then use of technology in farm sector and increase in input costs are definitely going to further aggravate the problem. The problem is as it is, it's a serious problem. But then the way modern technology is being made use of, so that would perhaps further aggravate the already serious situation in the farming sector. Now, there's a shift of farm labor to industrial and construction sector. Now, 21% people who have left the farming sector, these people, after all, they want to earn some livelihood. So, these people look towards the industrial and construction sector because construction sector is one which is the major employment opportunity provider in India. So, this industrial and construction sector, so they are attracting the surplus labor of the farm sector. Then newer ways of agriculture are going to require fewer number of people at workplace. So in agriculture, new technologies are being made use of, new techniques are being evolved, new farming techniques, new cropping techniques, new harvesting techniques. We talk of post-harvest technology or pre-harvest technology. So these new technologies are taking place, and newer ways of agriculture are definitely, when we make use of technology, we can manage the same thing with lesser number of people. Now, this return of industrial labor from different states to their own home states after implementation of Manrega is also taken. Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act is being implemented across the country in all 600 plus districts. Okay, and the industrial and farm labor from states like Punjab, Haryana, Delhi. Like earlier, we used to have a lot of labor, industrial and farm labor from Bihar, UP, Odisha. So many of these people, they have gone back because they are getting assured employment under Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. Plus, maybe they will have a little bit of their own land or some other sources of income. So, in many cases, these people are finding it more remunerative and they are going back to their own places. And for that, definitely the local industry is paying a very strong. The surplus labor from agriculture sector, it doesn't possess skills other than the farming skill. Now, here arises the problem. The people, they have become surplus from agriculture sector, farm sector. They have gone back to their own home states, and now these people, they do not know anything other than farming. So what do they do? How do you utilize that the potential of that manpower? Then farmers who exit. Now this was the problem with the labor getting surplus from the agriculture sector. But what about the farmers? Many farmers, they have sold their lands. Okay, they have earned a lot of money, or they have been they are having a lot of bank balance. But unfortunately, these people, they do not have much of investment skills. They are poor in investment skills, and many a time they might put their money to some, not to a desirable use. Okay, So they are unable to manage their money as such, and many times unnecessary to spending money here and there. So the kind of scenario which is existing in Punjab today, I suppose it will definitely be happening in a almost similar manner in other neighboring states and maybe entire country. So what do you say? Something which is happening in Punjab, don't you think it's happening in Haryana?
Everywhere, sir.
Almost same thing is
Everywhere.
happening. Because of Haryana, Maharashtra, any place, so industrialists, colonizers, they are purchasing land, they are farmers are getting hefty amount, they are having a lot of money with them, buying SUVs and many other cars and all. People getting into this drug business or getting into some other socially undesirable things. So all these things is happening all over the world. So if this is happening in Punjab, same thing would be happening in many other states. Now, country-wide scenario.
So in this law was there, एक आदमी farmer किसान भी
एक आदमी
एक आदमी farmer किसान कहाँ रहता है? ये भी दिक्कत है।
See, we are following the capitalistic model now. Earlier we were in a socialistic model, mixed economy model. And in capitalistic model of economy has its own advantages and disadvantages. Maybe what you told is just one of the disadvantages. In capitalistic model, you will definitely find this in concentration of economic power is huge. इंडिया की जो 70-80% of the total economic power would be in the hands of hardly 1 or 2% of the population. All of us are aware of it.
So this problem also raised by the Narega. Their problem also raised due to Narega.
Yes, I agree with you. Narega, well, it has so many, good things, but then it also has some side effects. And what has happened, with regard to availability of farm labor, availability of industrial labor, I think it's the after effect of side effect of
This must be related to
Narega.
agriculture.
But then, in light of the experiences which they have had, now they are rethinking over it, and our policy formulators are thinking of improving Manrega so that it gets linked with agriculture and agriculture sector which is so vital for this country that doesn't suffer. So efforts are on, and research studies are getting conducted. Then based on the research findings, maybe something will be happen and some changes will be brought. Okay. Now look to the this thing employment scenario and country as a whole. We all are aware of the 69% of our population they live in urban areas and 31% they live in rural areas. People who live in rural areas by and large they depend upon agriculture and allied. Some people they go to cities or they carry on some activities. Okay? But it's a fact the 60% rural population who are engaged in agriculture and allied activities, they contribute only 14% of the GDP of the country. 60% people. See, the seriousness starts from here itself, or the complication of the problem. It starts from here only. When 60% of your people are contributing only 14%, it will ultimately lead to disparity of economic power. 40%, remaining 40%, they are contributing 86% of the GDP. I'll give you the go inside it. Only 4% of the rural students join universities and institutions of higher learning in India. Remaining 60%, they prove to be proper. Okay? And 71% population lives in rural areas. I have already discussed. 30% of the population is declared living below the poverty line. Officially described the poverty line. Now, the poverty or the basis of working out that limit, that itself is debatable. But let's not get into that. Whatever it is. So, given the present, present official definition of person below poverty line, as per that, almost 30% population is living below the poverty line. Rural students they experience higher rate of dropout. Only 52% of the rural students they complete matriculation. 48% need to be dropout by the time they reach matriculation. child labor is getting a very serious problem in India, and the intensity of child labor is major issue of the overall 4 crore. 4 crore child labor they are working in. Then our government came out with midday meal scheme and many other schemes. So this provision of free education and midday meal has not been able to check the dropout rate of rural students. Rather, the dropout rate in some places, in some pockets, has increased. So this is the countrywide scenario. And yet another look at countrywide scenario with regard to education. Here, you will find out here in the slide which talks about the educational levels percentages in India. So when we talk our country as a nation, 34.5% people are considered to be illiterate and 65.5% they are considered to be literate. But then try to read between the lines. When we talk of these literate people, 65.5%, almost 2/3 of the population, what sort of literacy skills they do they possess? 16.7% of 16.7% out of 65%. It is not 16.7% of the total population. So 16.7% they left studies before completing primary. 15.8% they completed primary education, and 12.9% they went little above primary. Okay, 8.8% secondary, and secondary we all know is the 8th standard. So out of this 65%, 16.7 and 18.8, that's 32.5, almost half the educated lot, they are less than 5th standard, less than or equal to 5th standard. And you know the status of 5th standard student in India. So what sort of literacy rate are we even talking about? Okay. So only 8.8% are secondary educated, 4.7% higher secondary, qualification, 3.9% graduate, 1.1% graduate, postgraduate and above, 0.6% diploma certificate holders, and 0.6% without schooling, and others include 12%. So this is the educational scenario, overall educational scenario in India. And if you want to have a look into the reasons for discontinuing education or never going to school or any college, so here are the reasons. Out of 100%, it's only 8% people who would complete the desired level. The desired level would mean, if as a student, if I want to get a postgraduate degree in economics, okay, one day I achieve that degree. That means I have achieved my desired level of education. But somebody wanted to be a doctor, but could not even become a nurse, so could not achieve that desired level of education. So, in India, when we talk of educated lot, only 8% people could achieve this desired level. The remaining 92% they could not. And the reason for that was the 21% they had some financial constraint. 14% parents didn't like the child to go to school or college. 14% children. Children themselves they were not interested in. So here 14% parents and 14% children. So you can say 28%. Either the child or the parent they are not interested in. There were 8% who were unable to cope up with the this burden of studies. Unable to cope up with studies. Okay. Then 6% education not considered necessary. There are so many people who feel that if you have to live life, you don't need education. You can manage even without being educated. Okay. So 6% education not considered necessary. 5% because of some other economic activity they left the study. 5% they had to leave studies because they were supposed to attend to domestic work, domestic activities. Okay, 4% probably they got some wages or salary, some paid job, and the left is 3% for helping in household enterprises. If somebody has family business and parents want him or her to join the family business or family profession. 2% students they felt probably the school is too far off, 1% no tradition in community, and 8% other miscellaneous reasons. So this gives you a little overall view. Why do people do not pursue studies in India? Okay.
So that is correct. Why government is spending crores of freedom private education?
Government is only trying to improve upon this data. This is the present scenario, and don't think government efforts are not paying dividends. When we got independence, our rate of literacy was hardly 20-25% or so. Today, it has come up to this, say, 65%. So, there is a marked improvement. Government, don't think government programs, government schemes, they are not paying.
Go to any private school, student class 5 students not knowing the table of 3 or 4. These are real facts because sometimes you go out to outside and you realize.
I agree.
And when I ask
People are getting used to mobiles and this thing, calculators and all. So it's a hard fact. Mathematical, particularly this thing, mental math, that ability is slowly disappearing from us. And it's a worldwide scenario. We people are considered to be much better in mathematics as compared to students in America, Canada, and Europe. So we are somewhat better than them.
then after that they are very few that those jobs.
They are poor as compared to us.
But they are very good in design, sir.
They are in a position to make use of the latest technology, different techniques. So let's proceed further. Okay. Now, Indian employment scenario. Ultimately, we got to link it with skill development. 55% workforce is engaged in agriculture and allied activity, 28% workforce is engaged in service sector, and 17% workforce is engaged in investment. Okay. So, entire economy, in fact, entire economy is usually divided in three parts: the primary sector, secondary sector, and tertiary sector. Primary sector is agriculture and oil. Secondary sector is your manufacturing sector, and tertiary sector is basically your service sector. So, internationally and nationally, the contribution of these three sectors is measured, and accordingly, economic growth is worked out. So, look at the contribution of these three sectors. Contribution of agriculture sector, which implies almost 55 to 60% people, they contribute only 14%, and 28% people who are in service sector, they are contributing 60%, and remaining 17% or so who are working in factory sector, manufacturing sector, they are contributing 26%. So what I would suggest to you is, when you go back home, you try to understand why is it there is so much of disparity of income in Indian people. You will find out the reason. When you divide this 14 by 60% population, this 60 by 28% population, and this 26% contribution by 17% of the working population, okay? And when you measure its impact over a period of time, over the long run, maybe for 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, then you would know why is it rich are becoming richer and poor are becoming poorer. And even after this such a wonderful reform process, which started from 1991 onward. So even our economists, they feel it has been a jobless growth, and it has created a gulf between the rich and the poor. Rural and the urban. India and Bharat. So all these things have happened even in the past 20 years. Now, I don't have an answer to all your queries, but maybe as a new time service, maybe we can get some of these. Okay. So, here lies the root cause of this thing, poverty, or issues. Disparity in so long as this thing will continue happening, the gulf will continue happening. This gulf will start reducing provided these 60% people who are engaged in agriculture and allied activities, they got to contribute more, and they would be contributing more provided you provide them skills. That is why this National Skill Communication Framework, Community College Scheme, and so many other skill development for the government of India and different state governments. It's only through skill if you can make some of the people leave their traditional professions and you can bring them to service sector and manufacturing sector. Or maybe some sort of rural industrialization takes place. Otherwise, this gulf will keep on increasing. Now come to this thing, rural versus urban. Right now, 31% people are living in city, but 2020 indicated that by 2030, 46% people will be living in urban areas. And looking to the vision of the present government, I think this 46% figure is going to be achieved even faster. ये 2030 की तैयारी नहीं करनी पड़ेगी because now new government has already announced setting up of 100 smart cities, okay, and then there's going to be a lot of emphasis on urbanization. And you see, urbanization is something which is linked with development of the country, and more developed a particular nation is, higher is the percentage of urban population. In America, 92% population is urban. In many other developed countries, you will find the percentage of people living in cities is much higher. So clearly India got to catch up with this thing for the developed countries, and the kind of trends which are existing over there, maybe those kind of trends will also get to experience. So, in nutshell, Indian economy is marked with low level of productivity, low level of employment, and low level of but these low levels are covering vast majority of the human population. But then there are high net worth individuals. If they दो चार प्रतिशत population की ऐसी है, which do not fall within this they are in higher income. So, keeping in view the manpower requirement of the country, keeping in view the harnessing the potential of our youth, we all are aware 50%, 51% of our population is presently less than 25 years of age. और अगर इसको एज बार को रेज कर दिया जाए because of 55 years, and it's almost 60-65% of our population. They are within that age bracket. And India is right now considered to be a nation which is young, and if provided proper skills, so Indian youth, they can not only meet the manpower needs within the country, they can also meet the manpower needs abroad. And if that happens, if we start supplying or trained, highly trained, educated, and skill-savvy manpower to other countries, then our people will earn a lot of money, they will bring in a lot of dollars, reinvestment will take place within the country, economic development will pick up, and this is what the government is really terming as the demographic dividend. So we as a nation, we are aiming at reaping the rich demographic dividend because we have young people. When the population in other countries is aging, our population is young. But remember one thing, we would be in a position to reap the demographic dividend provided we impart our youth world-class skill training, world-class education, and our people should be in a position to move, go abroad, work over there, compete with those people, and excel. If they would do that, then definitely the country would reach the demographic dividend. If that doesn't happen, then we are certainly going to slip into a demographic disaster. Now, whether or not it will be demographic dividend or demographic disaster, that is yet to be seen. But time is running out. Please ask somebody to get your chair. Time is running out, and this demographic dividend cannot be reaped by India for all times to come. The kind of raising program which China, Japan, US, Australia, Canada, the kind of aging problem which these nations are facing, we will also start experiencing this aging problem to 25 times. So time left is only 11 years. If the country wants to reach the demographic dividend, so they got to do it within these 11 years. And that is why government of India is laying so much of emphasis on skill development, and they want the country to train 50 crore people in before 2020. The 50 crore people have to be trained. 50 crore people would include the manpower which is already working in different sectors. They would need retraining because conventional skills are no more much helpful. So they need to be retrained, and they also feel in the present system and the way developments are taking place world over, what would happen? Trained people would need training every 3 or 4 years. 3 साल में आपकी जो skills हैं, they will become redundant, and you got to retrain yourself. Then only you will be not contributing something, otherwise not. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, keeping in view the demographic sectors of the country, keeping in view the manpower requirement of the country, our policy formulators, planners, educationists, they have categorized the future manpower in 4 categories. And this categorization is, you need rust collar workforce in the economy, you also need blue collar workforce, you need grey collar workforce, and you need white collar workforce. Till recently, we used to talk about only the white collar and blue collar. But now we have started talking about 4 categories. First category is rust collar workforce. This rust collar workforce is basically the manpower which by and large work in agriculture and allied sectors. They are largely either illiterate or semi-literate. They work on daily basis or hourly basis. They do not have any access to retirement benefits or statutory retirement provisions. They do not have any access to it. Okay? They may be working on casual basis. So this is the kind of manpower. Manual worker, maybe agriculture farm labor, maybe people engaged in breaking of stone for construction of roads, but dwellers, etc. So these are the people who would fall under the first category, that is the rust collar workforce. And they would be needed in crores and crores. Maximum number of people are required here. This is the bottom. Okay? If you make a pyramid, so it would be inverted pyramid, like a white collar workforce at the top, then your grey collar, then blue collar, thereafter this thing, rust collar. So white collar at the top, then grey collar, blue collar, and thereafter white collar. So maximum number of people are going to be accommodated under the rust collar workforce category. Less than that, they are going to be accommodated under blue collar, and still less than that, you have this grey collar workforce. Okay, I have already explained the concept of rust collar workforce. Blue collar workforce, the second category, the concept is more or less the same conventional concept. People who are skilled, working in manufacturing sector, okay, being paid monthly or weekly, having access to retirement benefits, provident fund, ESI, bonus, etc., accidental benefits and all. You can say blue collar workforce is little more secured as compared to rust collar workforce. They feel little more secure. Their quality of life would be much better. Okay? And they possess skill. Coming to the third category, that's your grey collar workforce. Grey collar workforce is somewhere between the blue collar and white collar. They are not workers as such. Okay? They are reasonably well educated people. BA, BSc, BCom. People good in problem solving. People good in decision making. People good in making use of IT and IT skills, computer applications. In other words, grey collar workforce could be termed as a knowledge worker category. They are knowledgeable people. capable of taking decisions, capable of solving problems, okay, capable of working in different environments, in different offices, in different sectors of the economy. Okay. So this is your grey collar workforce, and in days to come, you would be leading not many grey collar workforce, and right now we are definitely experiencing a shortage of grey collar workforce. Fourth and final category is your white collar workforce, and the concept of white collar workforce basically remains the same. These are basically people, well-educated people, well-trained, performing responsible jobs, engineers, doctors, architects, maybe even you can even include politicians over there, doctors, bureaucrats, IAS, state civil services, dignified office jobs, section officers and all, okay, administrative jobs, PCS, professionals also they will come in white collar. Okay. So all these professions, all these positions, they get covered under white collar workforce. So country is definitely going to need all these categories, but then the quantity would vary, and government of India engaged international agencies, in reputed consultants like McKinsey and consultant of US. They studied the Indian education scenario, and they also studied the Indian workplace environment. And they studied all sectors of Indian economy. And they have worked out this thing, projected manpower requirement of India in different sectors at different positions. आप में से अगर कोई इंटरेस्टेड है, you can visit the website of National Skill Development Corporation, wherein they have divided the entire economy into 21 sectors. And sector-wise reports on this thing, potential manpower assessment, manpower need of the country. Okay? They have been worked out sector-wise and position-wise, and of course state-wise. All this information is available online. And which are the areas where we are likely to experience skill deficit in days to come? All these things we have been worked on. And keeping in view this thing, now countries are emphasizing a lot on national skill qualification framework. This national vocational education qualification framework was announced by Government of India on 8th of October 2011 by the then HRD Minister, and at the same time, our Ministry of Labour and Employment, Government of India, Ministry of Labour and Employment. So they were also working on a similar framework, and that framework was known as National Vocational Qualification Framework. So you would notice एक में की था, एक में नहीं. The first one was NVEQF, National Vocational Education Qualification Framework, evolved by Ministry of HRD, Government of India, and the second one, National Vocational Qualification Framework, evolved by Ministry of Labour, Government of India. So both the ministries were working independently, but then at the national level, then a need was being felt, and on the initiative of Cabinet Secretariat, in the year 2013, to be precise, 19th of December 2013, on the initiative of Cabinet Secretariat, so meeting was held, and both these frameworks, NVEQF and NVQF, they have been merged together, and the merged entity was named as National Skill Qualification Framework. So, NSQF, National Skill Qualification Framework, is nothing but it's a merger of NVEQF and NVQF. Okay. The NVQF framework, All India Council of Technical Education, the apex body for making and maintaining the norms for technical education in the country, had framed the vocational education qualification framework for the polytechnic and engineering. In fact, this NHRD was basically working for polytechnic and engineering, whereas the Ministry of Labour, they were basically working for ITIs and other technical. The framework aims this. Now, forget about NVQF and NVQF, talk about NSQF. this framework aims at linking school, vocational, university education qualification into a national system. अभी तक क्या होता था? There was a sort of casteism which used to exist between different educational systems. University won't talk to a college, college won't talk to polytechnic, polytechnic doesn't feel comfortable in interacting with ITI, and ITI has no business to interact with schools. So kind of casteism which exists in our society, that kind of casteism existed in education system also. But now these caste barriers, such kind of barriers, they are being shattered away, and the entire education system got to align itself to national skill qualification framework. And it will cut across all systems of education: school education system, polytechnic system, engineering college, degree colleges, universities. So all will have the responsibility of working under the framework of national skill qualification. What are the salient features of this framework? What does the framework aim at? Okay. It's a framework which cuts across sectors and across the country skill development. You talk of any sector of Indian economy, you talk of any sector and any level of skill. So all kind of skills pertaining to all sectors of Indian economy, they are going to be covered under national skill qualification framework. And the courses are going to be short duration, focused and modular. This will be the feature of the course. You offer short duration courses, you focus on a particular skill, and you come out with different modules, offer modules as per the convenience of the candidate. That candidate pick up a few modules, earn some credit, and if this person so desires, he or she may go to the place of work over there for a few years. Thereafter, if this person wants to come back, so one can once again come back to the education system and further pursue education. Then placement assistance. Training providers would be expected to arrange for placement of the student. It's expectation of the system. Go to arrange placement of the student. Delivery by and large is going to take place in local languages, second vernacular. If it is Tamil Nadu, then courses need to be offered in Tamil. If it is Assam, courses have to be necessarily offered in Assam. Okay. Courses could be full day, half day, or weekend program. So student can join full day program, weekend program, regular program, or a part-time program. There's going to be a provision of recognition of prior learning. Have you heard of this term called recognition, RPL? Recognition of prior learning. Anyone of you? Recognition of prior learning is nothing but it's a kind of system which rewards the kind of skill which you already possess. Okay. Suppose some of you are too good in cooking, and there's a course pertaining to cookery. Level 1, level 2, there are different levels. You know everything of cooking, and you want to get your skill certified, so then you got to take action as prescribed under National Skill Qualification Framework. You can walk in to an assessment agency, so you get your skills assessed, and if your skills are found to be of certain order, of certain level, then you are issued qualification corresponding. So that is the assessment of prior learning. In our country, you know, there are millions and millions of people who have never ever gone to school or college, but they are good for studying. Okay. Roadside, so many automobiles, so many people are running restaurants, so many people are cutting on the hair cutting salon, beauty parlors and all. Okay. So all these people under the given framework, they would be a person who go to approach a assessor. They want to apply, pay whatever nominal fee. So they want to get their skills assessed, and then having got their skill assessed, they can earn that qualification. So the framework would have provision for recognition of prior learning. In academics, I think to some extent this provision of recognition of prior learning already exists. You all come from polytechnics and engineering colleges. Now, there is a provision of lateral entry. So that lateral entry is nothing but benefit of assessment of prior learning. An ITI student having an ITI, one can get into second year of diploma.
But this is also the best appropriately conceived scheme because a person who is already having diploma in mechanical engineering, then he is advocating to the electronic engineering. So this trial learning doesn't make sense in the electronic engineering.
I think we got to have a little more insight before I react to your question. But as we advance in this session, and I'm sure you will all be listening carefully, some of your queries will automatically get answered. And maybe some of these queries won't exist. So it's not that easy, and it's not that automatically you move from one stream to another. It's not going to take place like that. You got to fulfill all three conditions, and if those three conditions are fulfilled, then and then only you become eligible to move from one stream. So we got to wait little more time.
You can see ordinary students the self what you should electronic
Okay,
there is no problem.
But there is no harm. But there is no harm. If somebody with textile diploma and he wants to electronics BTech.
There is no harm. There are very fundamental subjects also.
let us do it of it.
We can do it later on.
But I was just trying to cite some example where this assessment of prior learning is beneficial to students. Okay? Some example I gave you in terms of the student getting I remember if I took up an example from commerce, a student who does BCom or MCom, and thereafter this person wants to go for either company secretary or chartered accountancy or works accountancy. So there are certain exemptions given, and exemptions are in terms of there is a paper of economics in all these disciplines. But if you have already passed economics paper in BCom or MCom with minimum of 50 or 60% mark, then you are exempted. That means you have got the benefit of prior exams. So like that, there are so many other examples. I agree with you. There may be some deficiencies, but then slowly and slowly we got to point out these deficiencies. We got to take it up with the appropriate authority, and we got to get the things right. System is not yet foolproof. There are so many improvements desirable in the system. Okay. So we were talking about recognition of prior learning. I think that's amply clear. Then building pathways for international recognition. So Government of India is making a lot of effort, and Washington Accord has already been signed by the Government of India. The basic idea is, are people having got a lot of training within the country when they go abroad and if they have to complete yet another course over there, it's no fun. Why should our people be made to undergo yet another program? And when they go over there, they got to sell out a lot of money, and then only they are allowed to practice over there. So, as per Washington Accord and also as per this NSQF, so the Indian qualifications are going to be equated with qualifications. Do the country agree correct? We will honor their qualification, they will honor our qualification. Okay? So it's a step towards international recognition of qualification. Then coming to training, training could be delivered through a network of centers that could include technical and non-technical schools and colleges, industry centers, training organizations, and service providers. Now, here training, in fact, training can be, there could be so many different type of training. Industry could be a trainer, ITI, Polytechnic, engineering college, even a roadside workshop. They could all act as a trainer. Research and development laboratories can also be a training program. In addition, the practical training laboratories of industries could be used as a training sites for skill development wherever required. In fact, this NSQF and community college scheme, they cannot be implemented in isolation. Somebody has to provide the support as a skill knowledge provider. And that skill knowledge provider is nothing but either a service company or a manufacturing company where the student can really practice the skill. And the skill cannot be implemented in isolation. Any institution interested in getting into NSQF framework, they will have to necessarily have a memorandum of understanding with a skill knowledge provider located within their vicinity, then only the NSQF can be. Coming to assessment now, till recently what used to happen in a typical training program, so many schools, so many universities. The Ministry of HRD sponsors the program. Training provider, they evolve curriculum, they offer training, they assess the candidate, and they meet them. This was the conventional system of department. But now there is a total departure from this kind of system. And training and assessment have now been dealing. Assessment is not at all considered to be a function of training provider. See, it's very peculiar. In our country, what happens is a student who undergoes a regular program is considered to be better than a student who undergoes a distance program. Agree or not? I'm talking about. I was in UK way back in 1998, and we were undergoing some training program over there, and I wanted to verify whether the same perception exists over there. And there I found they don't differentiate. They don't differentiate between a distance learning program and a regular program or distance from contact program. Reason. Okay. You see, you are basically talking about the learning. You got to learn something. You learn it by way of studying books. You learn it by way of watching TV, or you got to learn it by way of practicing hands-on practice. So it's basically the assessment. So long as you prove at the time of assessment, so long as you are coming up to that standard, so it doesn't really matter whether you were a regular student or part-time student or weekend student or distance student. It doesn't matter. So basic problem lies with assessment procedure. So under NSQF, training and assessment have been busy. So training providers would only impart training, and there would be different bodies which would assess the skill of the individual, and there will be different bodies which would do. Like in UK, they have a organization called Curriculum and Qualification Authority. Curriculum and Qualification Authority is different. Assessors are different. Okay, training providers are different. Then assessment to be done by the experts in competency-based assessment. It's not like anybody can assess. Not like that. People who are certified or who are considered to be expert in measuring competencies pertaining to a particular grade, they only would be allowed to examine this. So, only competency-based assessment. Now, before evolving national skill qualification framework, our expert or policy formulators or planners, they studied number of vocational education framework of different countries. So vocational education and training framework of Australia was studied in UK, and people understood it very well. Thereafter, New Zealand vocational education framework, which comes from that 1 to 7, that was examined in UK, and suitability or applicability in India, whether or not or to what extent we can replicate it in India, that was studied. And similarly, Sri Lankan vocational education framework was studied. And then, of course, UK's qualification and credit framework that was also considered before evolving NSQF in India. In UK, they have a system of giving credit, and if the student earns up to 12 credit, he is given an award. If student is somewhere in the range of 13 to 36 credit, he issues a certificate, and anything more than 36, 37 and above, then one can earn a diploma. and 1 credit is considered to be representing 10 hours of learning time. Now, we come to the basic framework options under NSQF. Under NSQF, you see, I would like to give you a few backgrounds here. Till recently, what used to happen in our country, vocational education was considered to be terminal in nature. By terminal in nature, I mean you pass 8th standard or 10th standard, thereafter get into an ITI, and once you have done ITI, thereafter it's all gone. All doors are closed for you. Okay? So no progression thereafter. That means your education and training terminates at ITI level. Okay? But under NBQF, there is no end. You can go and you can achieve the highest qualification in any skill. And for that matter, what Government of India has done, skill is being, they have planned to impart skill at 10 different levels. Level 1 being the lowest level of skill, and level 10 being the highest level of skill. So there are going to be 10 different levels of skill. Okay? So I'll explain as to how these levels are going to work. Basically, the NSQF implementation starts from 9th standard of school. 8th standard तक सब बच्चे they are supposed to be in school, and from 9th standard itself, government says student need to be given some skill. Okay, how is it going to take place? That's what I am going to explain. See, when a student gets in 9th standard, so this student would be offered the lowest level of skill, and that is our level 1. Level 1 of skill is going to be imparted during 9th standard. So the student ultimately the qualification or certification is going to be done by the concerned school board of education. Then same thing happens at level 2, which is 10th class. Level 2 is inbuilt in 10th class of schooling, and certification to be done by the school education board. Now, when the student has passed matriculation, now there are two options. One option is having done matriculation, you get into diploma program. The other option is you complete your 10 plus 2, and having completed 10 plus 2, either you go for engineering, you go for medicine, or you go for law, or you go for maybe university degree. Okay, there are so many options. BA, BSc, BCom, or any stream for that matter. So here we are considering two cases. Case 1 basically pertains to those students who, having done matriculation, they want to pursue diploma stream. And case 2 basically pertains to those students who, having done 10 plus 2, thereafter they want to pursue a degree program. Okay? Now, how do these students progress? I have already explained to you level 1 of skill inbuilt in 9th standard, level 2 in 10th standard. Level 3 of skill would be inbuilt in 11th standard of schooling for those students who want to pursue a university. Okay, so this student picks up level 3. Okay, then the student gets into 10 plus 2. 10 plus 2, that is grade 12, and having done grade 12 with level 4 of skill, so this person will pass out schooling with some vocational subjects. Okay. Now, if the student wants to pursue in vocational degree, wants to pursue education further, but in vocational degree, so this student will have the benefit of joining vocational degree first year, wherein he or she would be offered 5th level of skill. And under case 1, we are considering the case of that student who has done matriculation, and having done matriculation now wants to get into first year of vocational diploma. So, if this be the case 1, vocational diploma first year, so here the student will pick up level 3 of skill, because he has already picked up level 1 and 2 in school, 9th and 10th standard. So here he or she will pick up level 3 of skill and pursues vocational diploma first year and ultimately certification to be done by the Board of School Education. Clear? Do raise any question in case it's not clear to you. Are you with me? Okay. So, matriculate getting into first year of diploma and 10 plus 2 student getting into first year of vocational degree program. So, matriculate picking up level 3 during first year and 10 plus 2 fellow picking up level 5 during first year of vocational degree, and here the qualification is going to be awarded by the concerned university. Then this continues. Vocational diploma second year, 4th level of skill, and vocational degree second year, this person will pick up 6th level of skill. Vocational level, vocational diploma third year, so here the level 5 of skill is inbuilt, and vocational degree third year, level 7 is inbuilt. So corresponding qualification or certifying bodies are given here. They are Board of School Education and University, etc. And at 10th level, it's basically the school system. Okay. I suppose it's clear till now. So we proceed further. Now the same thing presented in a little different manner. Only thing I am taking it system by system. Let's first take the school education system. At school education system, we are basically talking about level 1, 2, 3, and 4. And here they are going to be inbuilt in 9, 10, 11, and 12 standard. Okay. Next to school education system is our polytechnic system. And when we talk about polytechnic system, so polytechnic usually have this 3-year diploma program, but some of the polytechnic they even offer advanced diploma, right? So advanced diplomas are usually 1.5 to 2 years duration. So it is vocational diploma first year. I have already told you. So this person will pick up level 3, level 4 in second year, level 5 in third year, and having completed vocational diploma, if the student wants to go for advanced diploma in skill, vocational skill, then he or she will pick up level 6 of skill in first year and level 7 of skill in second year. Okay. Now right now I am discussing with you only up to level 7. But level 9, 10 and 11 are also inbuilt in the education system. Level 8 of skill would be imparted to those students who would like to pursue postgraduate qualification in a university. Or level 8 would be imparted to that student who is pursuing Bachelor of Vocational in Engineering. Because having done 10 plus 2, having picked up 4 level of skill, this person gets into first year of engineering. And engineering being 4-year course, so level 5 in first year, level 6 in second year, level 7 in third year, and level 8 in final year. So that's how the progression is going to take place. But in case of university system, there are universities of 3-year graduate program. So level 5, 6, and 7 in 3-year program, and thereafter there is a provision of postgraduate program. So level 8 and level 9 they are inbuilt in say MA first year and MA second year, or MSc first year, MSc second, MCA first year, MCA second year. Okay. Level 10 of skill is equated or considered equal to PhD. And under NSQF there would be a provision with a person who completes 10th level of skill, so this person would be considered as good as possessing PhD in that particular given skill. So that's why I said, till recently our vocational education system used to be terminal in nature, but the proposed system is not at all terminal and one can go right up to PhD level. So that makes a lot of difference, and that should provide open up avenues for many people. Those who want to pursue it slowly, they can do it in different phases. Those who want to complete it in a single go, that also can be provided. Okay, now coming to university system, I have already explained this. level 5, 6 and 7 in graduation and level 7 in 8. Okay. Now, I told you about this. In fact, this architecture of national vocational education qualification. Earlier it was now NSQF. This architect was announced by the government on 3rd of September 2012. And in that, in addition to 10 level of skill, they had also inbuilt this recognition of prior learning. Recognition of prior learning at level 1 and recognition of prior learning at level 2. And let me explain this all quickly. So there are three columns. First column talks about the skill level. Second column talks about its equivalence. Equivalence in terms of academic. And the third column talks about if a person possesses a particular level of skill and this person has been equated with a particular academic qualification, then what is it you expect from this person in terms of the capability developed or possessed and the responsibility discharged at that particular field? Okay. So here is a brief summary of that. The recognition of prior learning, RPL level 1 and level 2. These two levels are basically for those masses who have picked up skill on their own or maybe as a matter of their family profession. जैसे होता है blacksmith son becomes a blacksmith, jeweler son becomes a jeweler, and the one who molds pottery, so that person's son also automatically becomes a potter. Okay, so level 1 and level 2 are basically for that kind of people who already possess skill but they do not have any certification. So RPL level 1 in terms of academic is equated with primary or 5th standard, and RPL level 2 is equated with 8th standard. Okay. In terms of capabilities and responsibility, a person who is certified as RPL level 1, this person is capable of taking trade-related independent decision making. Like we were talking about the potter. If this person has to make a particular item, this person should be capable of taking a decision with regard to that. See, how do I mix the clay? How much water needs to be mixed? Okay? How much time will it take in settling? Which mode do I make use of? Anything pertaining to that particular trade, so this person should be in a position to take the decision. And if he or she can take that kind of decision and can demonstrate, he is a big case for being given RPL level 1. And RPL level 2, trade-related independent decision making and demonstrating the work in a given situation. The difference between the first and second is only the first person can perform the task. But if you ask that person, okay, you demonstrate before 10%, he or she is unable to do that. Right? So second person demonstrates the capabilities or the skills possessed by that person. Okay. So basically these are the two levels. So far as RPL level 1 and level 2 are concerned. Now a person with RPL level 2, if this person so desire, he or she having got this certification done, can even go to an ITI. ITI वो कोर्स जहाँ में 8वीं क्लास का वो प्रेस्क्राइब है कि getting into carpentry minimum educational qualification is 8th standard pass. But if a person who knows carpentry and has never gone to school, was an illiterate person, now this person can get the skills assessed, get the certification done for RPL level 2, and once this person has done RPL level 2, then he or she is capable or eligible to join carpentry trade in ITI, as simple as that. Okay. Now we start with this thing, level 1 and right up to level 10. So level 1 is basically equated with a worker, and level 2 is also worker. So here it's equal to 9th standard and 10th standard, I have already explained. So the person who has passed level 1 of skill, this person always works under continuous instruction and close supervision. This person cannot be left alone to perform a task. Whereas person at level 2 works under continuous instruction and close supervision. The word always, take note of this word. This word always, which was existing at level 1, has been eliminated at level 2. So that means at times this person can be left on his own. He can work independently. Okay? So that is the difference between level 1 and level 2. Now coming to level 3, the one who possesses level 3 is equated with a semi-skilled worker. Okay? And that semi-skilled worker is nothing like equal to ITI also. So here, works under close supervision, limited responsibility for own work. अब level 2 तक कोई responsibility की बात नहीं थी. But here, when the candidate is introduced to level 3, it is expected from that candidate, he or she would work under close supervision and would also start taking limited responsibility for his own work, not for others' work, own work. Okay? And when this person goes to level 4, that is equal to 10 plus 2, responsible for own work and learning. Okay? Now he or she becomes responsible. It's not only for ordinary job, but you have to keep on learning something, keep on picking up new skills. Okay? And you, as an individual, you are responsible for it. At level 5, it is nothing but supervisory level. And in Polytechnic also, you basically train supervisors. Okay? Because you train supervisor, and that's why here also the one who completes vocational diploma with 5 level of skill, so this person would be in a position to supervise the task. And he or she is expected to be responsible for own work and learning and limited responsibility for others' work and learning. So now, the element of others' work and learning, it's not only you are trained, you got to train others, you got to supervise others, you got to get the work done. Okay? So this is what is expected from a person who has completed level 5. Level 6 is Master Trainer Technician, and it's equal to Advanced Diploma Vocational first year. This person takes full responsibility for own and others' work and learning. See, slowly, as the level goes up, so element of responsibility and depth of capability is increased. So here, he or she takes full responsibility for own and others' work and learning. At level 7, which is equal to graduation or equal to advanced diploma second year or degree vocational. So here this person takes full responsibility of output of group and development. And when we talk about this thing level 8, 9 and 10, here the task further gets complicated and it involves supervision, management, working under conditions of uncertainty, then taking strategic decisions under unpredictable and complex situations. So the things keep on getting still more complicated. So this was about the 10 levels, what you expect. Now in terms of academics, what has been done is, like earlier we used to have a school system or university or polytechnic system. So you talk of any system, be it school system or university or engineering or polytechnic. So on an average, student has the benefit of getting 1,000 hours of instruction in a year. On an average, there may be some 5-10% plus or minus. Okay. So student gets the benefit of 1,000 hours of learning. So we cannot unnecessarily overload the student. So whatever has to be given, it has to be given within those 1,000 hours. But has to be, taught to the students. So this time is important. That has to be kept in mind. So accordingly, under the vocational stream, a student going for vocational stream will have to pick up some vocational skills, and at the same time, this person will pick up some academic subjects. So here, the categorization has been done with how much vocational inputs need to be imparted and how much academic inputs need to be imparted. So that has been done here. Have a careful look at it. So, but then there is a general principle. Guiding principle is lowest the level of skill, lesser the amount of vocational skill. And as you move up, highest the level of skill, maximum would be the weightage given to the vocational subject, and minimum weightage would be given to the academic subject. Okay? Maybe in between there would be a situation where you have almost 50-50 kind of situation. So, when we talk of level 1 and 2, नौवीं और 10वीं की बात कर रहे हैं. When the student is in 9th or 10th standard, the student would pick up vocational skill at the rate of 200 to 300 hours per annum, and academic subject would be taught for 700 to 800. But when the student goes in this thing, 11th standard, right? 11th and 10th, 12th standard we are talking about. In 11th and 12th standard, so there's little increase in vocational input, and vocational input would be of the order of 300 to 400 hours per annum, whereas the academic inputs is reduced a bit. So 100 hours in fact have been shifted from here to here, and this becomes 600 to 700 hours of academic input in a year. Coming to level 5, so almost 400 to 500 hours of vocational input, and the candidate who has the benefit of undergoing academic subject for 500 to 600 hours. And at level 6, the situation just reverses. 500 to 600 hours of vocational and 400 to 500 hours of academic input. At level 7, so vocational inputs are further increased by another 100 hours, and the candidate will study vocational or practice skills for 600 to 700 hours, and the vocational academic subject will be taught for 300 to 400 hours. And at level 9 and 10, there is no academic subject as such. So whatever the student has to do, he has to practice the skills here. So there is no weightage given to the academic subject. So the student got to spend entire 1000 hours on picking up skills, and that too at skill knowledge provider course. Okay. Now I would like to give you a little idea about what are different sectors and what are different sector specializations which are presently being offered under NSQF. I'm saying anything important? So, as I told you, NHDC has studied 21 sectors of Indian economy, and the information pertaining to those 21 sectors that was passed on to AICTE and MHRD. AICTE has worked on 14 sectors, and out of these 14 sectors, some sectors they have been studied quite in detail. There are others which have not been studied that much in detail. But the fact is, AICTE has come out with a list of specializations available under different sectors. Okay? So here the very first sector is your automobile sector, and the automobile sector there are 5 specializations which the students can pursue. Students can pursue these courses, and they would be given vocational diploma or vocational degree. So 5 specializations include engine testing, vehicle quality, auto electrical and electronics, and farm machinery and electronics. Detail is available, complete detail, complete syllabus, our
there's like automobiles and then why general farming and other like that.
No, I can demonstrate. You can come to my office, and all these details is available. You do not have it. All details are available, and I'll show you. I have taken it from their website. So now the question arises: what kind of institutions, which particular institute can impart this training? So any institution which is capable of teaching the science stream at graduate level, so they can pick up these courses and they can implement NSQF. Second sector is entertainment sector, and under entertainment sector we have right now 4 specializations available. They are theatre and stagecraft, contemporary western dance, then theatre studies and acting. And any college which has arts stream, faculty for teaching art subject, so they can pick up these subjects. They can implement NSQF in their institute. Under information technology, right now there is only one specialization available, and that's termed as software development. And any institution having faculty to teach science stream, they can be given this particular specialization. Under communication, we have mobile communication, which is the only specialization available right now, and this also belongs to the science stream. Economics and finance has got 5 specializations cleared so far. They are retail, banking, financial planning, financial services, logistics, and any college of commerce, inform and com. So any college of commerce which is capable of teaching graduate and postgraduate commerce courses, so they can take up these specializations. Under agriculture sector, there are 5 specializations available. They are your farm machinery and power engineering, greenhouse technology, renewable energy processing, and food engineering, soil and water conservation, and all these streams belong to the science stream. So these specializations can be offered by science stream institutions. Under construction, which is a huge sector, but right now there is only one specialization approved by AICT, and that's the construction and building technology, and this belongs to the science stream. Under applied art, fashion technology, interior design, then apparel design and tourism. These are the four specializations available. Fashion technology, interior design, jewelry design, and apparel design. And these can be offered by a college which has got arts stream. Travel and tourism, only one specialization right now, that's your tourism, and that belongs to the commerce stream. Printing and publishing also, they have announced only one specialization, that's your printing and packaging technology, and any college having science stream, so they can offer this specialization. Maximum number of specializations are available under pharmaceutical and healthcare. So these are listed here, and they all belong to the science stream, like cardiology, neurology, radiography, emergency medical services, laboratory, then operation theatre, optometry, then medical record, health, medical record science and health information, endoscopy, anesthesia and critical care, then operation theatre and optometry. These are the 12 specializations which can be pursued under paramedical and healthcare sector, and any science college can offer these specializations. Under apparel and textile, again there are 4 specializations. They are your fashion design, textile design, apparel manufacturing, and fashion management, and these belong to the arts stream. Culture is yet another sector which has been recently added, and under culture sector there are 7 specializations available. They are all listed out over here, and they all belong to the arts stream. I go to the under adventure sports, so here again there are 7 specializations, and any arts stream institution can offer this specialization. This we can skip. Okay. Now I'll just take one of these 3 sectors. Like you asked about the details whether what they are available. So they are all available on AICT's website, and there you would find when we talk of say automobile. So there are 5 specializations. I picked up just one, engine testing specialist. What all gets covered under this thing, and right from level 1 to level 7 details are given over there. Right. Similarly, media and entertainment information technology, I picked up one specialization from each sector, but because of paucity of time, I think I will limit myself to only one sector, that's your automobile. And let's see how does candidate move from level 1 to the highest level of skill. So here when we talk about level 1, so the candidate is taught about the two-wheeler. In a way we try to make him or her the two-wheeler mechanic. At level 2, the candidate is taught everything about three-wheeler. At level 3, he or she becomes engine technician 4-wheeler. At level 4, becomes complete engine technician, and this engine technician input continues even at level 5, and at level 6 this person is capable of testing the engine, and engine testing technician, all inputs pertaining to that, they are given during level 6, and by the time the student completes level 7, he or she becomes complete engine testing specialist. Now what all inputs need to be taught say at level 1, 2, 3, 6, and like that up to level 7, all these inputs are available on AICT's website. Okay. Even timings are provided. Which input to be given, how many hours. Okay. And sample I can just show you. Say we are continuing with the same engine technician specialization. So when we talk of level 1, basically we are talking of the 9th standard. So at 9th standard, if the student wants to get into automobile sector and wants to pick up this given specialization, so what will happen? 250 hours or so the student will devote on this thing, learning the practical skill, and remaining 750 or so, that much number of hours are to be spent on picking up minimum 2 languages. It could be Hindi and English or any combination. There are almost 30 different languages given on AICT's website. So that list also includes a few foreign languages. It's not only that students will pick up only Indian languages, even foreign languages one can pick up. So depending upon one's interest, one has to, these are compulsory, so 2 languages, then mathematics, and in terms of vocational hours, here the student is going to be taught for 10 hours about how to make use of different tool usage for 10 hours, then two-wheeler engine, scooter, complete engine, stripping, then motorcycle, engine, reassembly, etc. So 100 hours are going to be devoted on that. 90 hours would be devoted on two-wheeler general vehicle servicing. So that works out to 1000 plus 100 plus 90, 200. And in addition to 2 languages plus mathematics, so 180 hours each are going to be devoted on science and social sciences. So 200 plus 780. This is what is going to be taught during 9th standard. Then coming to 10th standard, that's your level 2. Here again 10 hours tool usage, then 140 hours about the three-wheeler, and languages at the rate of 140 hours each, mathematics again 40 hours, then 100 hours devoted on this thing, three-wheeler, general vehicle, routine maintenance, checkup, services, etc. And here, science and social science again going to be taught at the rate of 180 hours. Here are the hours given at level 3. I think so I can skip it. All these details will be available on the website of the AICT. But only thing what I want to bring home is, if as the level goes up, vocational hours keep on increasing and the academic hours are coming down. So earlier, we were devoting 140 hours or 180 hours on each language. At level 3, it is now reduced to 120 hours. And here, number of subjects is also getting reduced. At level 3, students need to pick up 2 languages and any 3 papers from among the list given over here. So there are good number of subjects here. Then it comes to level 4. Level 4 is nothing but 12th standard. Pattern will remain the same. So 2 languages at the rate of 120 hours and then any 3 subjects. And here vocational inputs are used. But when it comes to level 5, at level 5, the moment student passes 10 plus 2 in Indian education system, thereafter it is the choice of the student whether or not to opt for language. Okay? So now there is no mention of any language. There are almost a dozen subjects prescribed here, and when the student gets into, say, vocational degree first year and wants to pick up level 5 of the skill, so what will happen here? The student will pick up any 3 subjects at the rate of 180 hours per subject. So almost 540 hours the student studies academics, and remaining almost 500 or 450 hours works on learning the vocational skill. So it's 500 and 540. At level 6, earlier we were talking about 3 subjects. Now, 1 more subject gets reduced. Now, the student needs to pick up only 2 subjects out of the list given here. And the breakup of hours for different inputs in terms of vocational skill is given. Let's have a look at level 7. Level 7, only 1 subject is to be taught. So, in terms of academics, only 1 paper And it all depends upon the student background, student attitude and liking. In which particular subject the student wants to pass. So if the student has cleared one paper and cleared distinct skills prescribed here and has undergone a number of hours of skill training and that has been certified by the skill knowledge provider, then the student would get vocational degree, bachelor's degree in vocational. Okay, 750 hours here. Okay, for the implementation of NSQF, there are important number of bodies, number of stakeholders. The very first body is National Skill Development Agency. It was way back in 2008, Prime Minister of India announced the National Skill Development Mission, and at that time, NSDA, National Skill Development Agency, was also done. So the main task given to the National Skill Development Agency is to facilitate setting up of a professional certifying bodies in addition to the existing. And they are basically the anchor. They have to act as an anchor and get the NSQF implemented. So this is the role of National Skill Development Agency. Sector Skill Council, they are the major stakeholder, and there are three distinct functions for the Sector Skill Council. First, to develop national occupational standard for all sectors of the Indian economy, and to develop qualification packs corresponding to the different occupations. So they have to develop the qualification packs for various job roles, and they want to help in this thing, aligning national occupational standards and qualification packs to different levels of skill at NSQF level. State governments have also got an important role to play, and the role for them is to facilitate mobility of individuals holding NSQF qualification. तो facilitate कैसे करेंगे? Now state government, Directorate of Higher Education, they got to take it up as an issue. Maybe they got to make the colleges and universities modify their prospectus, okay? And they got to ensure the mobility of these students. A student with NSQF qualification level 4, they should be in a position to get into engineering colleges and state universities. So that is what it really means. Facilitating mobility. Having done vocational with 4 levels of skill, now how do I pursue university education or engineering education? And then aligning different training programs to NSQF. That will be another task. Regulatory bodies are basically the AICTE, UGC, National Council of Vocational Training, Board of Technical Education, State Board of Education, and National Institute of Open Schooling, etc. Then State Board of Education, etc. These are all the regulatory bodies, and they got to define entry and exit competencies and qualification in terms of NSQF. It is the responsibility of the school board.
There is no rule of MCI.
MCI right now is not covered. Slowly maybe they will also get covered. They are just making the degree. Right now it's a pilot which has been started, and slowly anything pertaining to skill, then MCI will also come in. They will also be another body. But right now general education and technical education is being covered. Medical education, maybe slowly that will also get covered. So the important role for the say school education board. Now school education is somebody is having matriculation qualification with say 2 level of skill and now wants to get into school either in general stream or in vocational stream. So now it is the responsibility of the state government and the school board to define and to prescribe what would be the entry qualification at 10+1. 10+1 vocational, 10+1 conventional. And it has to be mentioned in terms of NSQF level. Then, to ensure vertical progression of the students in both general and vocational education, that would be the responsibility of the regulators. Then, training providers would basically be assigned the task of ensuring alignment of their courses with NSQF. At present, there are so many agencies offering skill training, But if they want to continue in days to come and they want to take the benefit of NSQF, then they got to align all their courses to NSQF. Now, what are the possibilities under NSQF? Candidate eligible for RPL level 1 and 2 can bridge literacy gap and numeracy gap and get certification from NIOS, and thereafter he or she can get into either class 9 or the IP. I explained the concept of RPL. The RPL wala, because this student is not educated as such. So this person, first of all, gets certification for RPL level 1 and 2, bridges this gap of literacy and numeracy. थोड़ा बहुत उसको पढ़ना लिखना आ जाए, चाहे जैसे मर्जी सीखे, और थोड़ा बहुत उसकी mathematical ability भी होती है. And if that person has done that, so thereafter this person becomes eligible for seeking admission in 9th standard or in IPL. That means उसके लिए आगे का रास्ता खुल गया. Otherwise, he was getting stuck at a particular course. Second case could be vocational education up to metric. The one who has studied vocational education up to metric, he or she can move to general stream and complete a degree. Third possibility could be vocational education up to class 10. Okay, this person can move to general streams and complete conventional degree. Vocational degree or diploma. Suppose a person is with vocational degree or diploma, this person can move to general stream, complete conventional degree or advanced diploma in vocational education. Conventional matriculate, जिसने कभी vocational का कुछ नहीं पढ़ा. What are the options for that person? Conventional matriculate can join vocational stream at level 3. अब उसने level 1 और level 2 तो नहीं पढ़ा है. So he can straight away join level 3 after passing a test of NSQF level 1 and level 2. या आपने पहले NSQF SKP के पास में जाइएगा या NSPC के पास में जाइएगा. Get your skill certified at level 1 and 2, and if you have done so, then you are eligible to get into this thing, conventional vocational stream, and you can join at level 3. Same is true of this thing. Conventional degree grade 10, 12. If one has done 10 plus 2 conventional stream and thereafter this fellow wants to join the vocational stream, here this fellow will have to get the certification for level 1 to 4. So first get certification done for level 1 to 4 and thereafter get into the vocational stream. Candidate with vocational degree plus certification of level up to 7 can receive a postgraduate diploma in vocational education. This is yet another pathway. Another pathway could be candidate with conventional degree, then certification of NSQF up to level 9. 1 to 9 के level का certification है, can receive a postgraduate degree in vocational education. And a student pursuing vocational education having an option of vertical mobility. Students passing class 8 and class 10, they have the option to join the class. So these are different options, and this will be the last one. With assessment of prior learning, a candidate could progress towards a community skill diploma in community college or polytechnic in a special flexible curriculum determined by the university and AICTE. So, as regards implementation, National Skill Development Agency will implement National Skill Qualification Framework through National Skill Qualification Committee. अभी ये National Skill Qualification Committee एक और बना दी है. Here is the composition of National Skill Qualification Committee. ये national level पर होगी. Any norms to be developed with regard to NSQF, so those norms need to be resolved by the National Skill Qualification Committee. कोई equivalence का issue है, कोई और norms develop करनी है, so it all falls within the domain of National Skill Qualification Committee. Composition is given here. तो इसमें दोनों सेक्रेटरी हो गए, सेक्रेटरी डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ स्कूल एजुकेशन, डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ हायर एजुकेशन, द मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ लेबर, then the planning commission, then mission director. Just like there is a national skill development agency at the national level, there is going to be a state skill development mission at the state level, and this mission director would be represented on this committee. Okay. then Secretary of the Representative Ministry, then Director General, NSDA. और जो हम ये इसकी बात कर रहे थे, sectoral representative, number 7. Now, definition or coverage of the sectoral representative is shown in the next slide. So these are the sectoral representatives. इसमें क्या होगा? Secretary, Administrative Ministry. Suppose there is some matter pertaining to Tourism Ministry. So Secretary Tourism Ministry becomes the sectoral representative. If it is pertaining to agriculture, then Secretary Agriculture. Okay. Then Chairman, CEO of the concerned sector skill council would be another representative. Then heads of the relevant regulatory bodies. We have already discussed what are these regulatory bodies, and any other person or agency relevant for the sector. So these persons would also be included, and they would be considered as the sectoral representative. Then this is about the accreditation and the certification, registration, accreditation of the institution. Training providers will be done through a mechanism determined by the concerned ministry and regulators in consultation with the secretary. So, assessment and certification we have talked about. NSQC approved assessors, they will do the certification. Actual assessment and certification to be done by the representative agencies of the government, private sector, as is being done at the right. Excellent School Board, UGC, sorry, NCVT, and University, they are involved. Here implementation schedule, I just trying to read that. Implementation schedule is all other framework including NHRD's NVQF are superseded by NSQF. NSQF it was finalized on 19 December 2014 and notified on 27 December 2013. It supersedes all other earlier this vocational qualification framework. जैसे हमारा NVQF था, so they are all superseded now, and it's only NSQF. Only NSQF compliant program would receive government funding. So till now, some 17 different ministries they were sponsoring so many different skill development programs. But now on, slowly and slowly, all programs they need to be NSQF compliant, and if they are NSQF compliant, then only they will receive the government funding. Then the institutions to define eligibility criteria for admission to various courses in terms of NSQF. Right now, what happens is when any job vacancy appears, so you will find the qualifications written over there. For the post of clerk in State Bank of India, BA, BSc, BCom, first degree. This is how the qualifications are written. But now on, when the country is switching over to NSQF, the qualifications have got to be necessarily explained in terms of NSQF skill level. That change is going to take place. Similarly, Government of India and public sector undertakings of central government to define eligibility criteria for all positions in terms of NSQF level. And same thing needs to be done at the state level. State government and state level PSUs to define eligibility criteria for all positions in single level. So these were some of the issues pertaining to implementation of the state. And ladies and gentlemen, it's time to conclude the session now. There are a few things left, and because I'm going to coordinate the program and I'll be discussing this on and off, time and again. So some challenges they can be skipped for the time being, otherwise we will conclude the session now. So now, in case there are any questions from different centers, we can have question answers before we break for lunch. Otherwise, we will have lunch break there. So, any questions from our different centers? Yes, I would like to ask anybody from Firoz Gandhi Polytechnic, Firoz Gandhi Engineering College. Sorry, is Mr. Sharma there? Firoz Gandhi Engineering College. Any queries? Yes, Vidya Bhavan Polytechnic at Vidyapur.
Yes, sir. What is RPL?
In the level first and second, you have mentioned about the RPL.
RPL.
I am unable to hear you. Please repeat the question again.
Yes, sir. In the level first and second, you have mentioned about the RPL. We wanted to understand the meaning of RPL.
RPL. Okay.
RPF meaning.
RPL.
RPL meaning.
RPL.
RPL.
RPL level 1 and RPL level 2 are basically for those people who have never gone to school but they are engaged in different kind of skills. So these people, because they do not have any technical qualification, so an awareness is provided to them, they can get their skill levels, and for that matter, they need to approach the National Institute of Open Schooling or concerned sector skill council. So they will assign them a skill and they will improve either level 1 or level 2. Now, when this person is given level, say level 2 of RPL, so this person becomes eligible to get into ITI and pursue skill education further. This is how the system is going to work. So,
That you understand from your slide, we wanted to know the meaning of RPL.
RPL stands for recognition of prior learning. A person who already knows something, so the knowledge and skills possessed by that person, they have to be assessed. Depth of that knowledge and skill need to be determined, and then this recognition of prior learning can take place and it can be converted to a qualification. So RPL is recognition of prior learning. Yes, any other question?
Another question, this qualification is applicable for EOI, Government of India, and other public sectors. And what about the private industries?
Please repeat the question once again.
What are the qualifications by this scheme is applicable for the Government of India and public sector, PSU? Is there any legislation by which the industry has to get compliance of this type of the education and skill development?
You see, at the national level, a decision has already been taken and notification has taken place on 27th of December 2013. Now, the central government needs to instruct different ministries and different PSUs, and they got to ask them to uh, uh, align their qualification with NSQF standard. So it may take little time, but then the existing qualification they are going to be equated with level 1 to 10 of NSQF. So people with NSQF level and also with conventional qualification, both the categories of people, they are going to be eligible for different jobs. And in the long run, the NSQF level are supposed to be becoming more popular as compared to the conventional qualification. Private sector? Well, I suppose something which the government sector follows, private sector will do the same thing. Private sector is more interested in NSQF level. And in fact, for private sector, it's going to be far more easy because it's basically the associations of, private companies, different sector skill councils. They are going to approve this thing. And because they are, the fact that they are going to be approved by sector skill council, that means the NSQF will have the blessings of the industry. Yes, please. Anybody from any other institution? Do we have? Can we invite some comment from SJP Polytechnic, Damla? Do Do we have Professor Kalra at SJP Polytechnic, Kandla, or Mr. Anil Kumar Budiraja, Principal of the Institute? Okay, in case there is no response from Damla, then can we invite somebody from Baba Hira Singh Bhattal Engineering College at Lehra Danda? Because they are gone for lunch. Okay, Northern India Technical Campus. Any question from Northern India? Okay. Please go ahead with your question.
Sir,
Okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, in case there are no questions, then it's time to wind up the first session. And I would like to thank all of you for coming here, attending this session. I know there are going to be many doubts. In fact, there are doubts in your mind, there are doubts in my mind, and the doubts are yet to be clarified by those who have really designed NSQF framework. But so far as this program is concerned, we are trying to bring in all concerned people. We are going to have representative from NSBC, we are going to have representative from the side of skill knowledge provider, training provider, and also obviously some of the universities. We are going to have people who have designed curriculum. So many of these questions they will be answered by the concerned persons. So for the time being, I would like to thank all of you for your patient hearing, and we will reassemble at 10 minutes past 2. 10 minutes past 2, we should be reassembling, and then the next session will start. So thank you very much.